At first glance, Vermont seemingly has the least amount of diversity in the country, but that's not quite accurate.
Over the past 4 years here at Champlain, we've had a chance to get out and explore the area.
At first, everything was completely new to us, which meant trying new places to get more of the full Vermont experience.
I grew up in Vermont, but moving to Burlington gave me a chance to see the state in a way I'd never seen it before.
Visiting these businesses were our first steps into a larger, more diverse Vermont community.
And that's where our story starts. We began to really see how many of these establishments were owned by people integrating their own culture into the community.
We chose to highlight these 4 local businesses and the people who created a community in a state often criticized for its lack of diversity.
These are 4 stories led by each one of us about immigrants and how their businesses have gone beyond Vermont's borders. Ahmed Omar is cooking his famous Philly steak sandwich. But this isn't your average cheesesteak. Omar infuses each of his dishes with a unique Somali twist.
I want to make sure that, I had a Philly in other places, but when I come to Kismayo, this is the best Philly I've ever had.
And you can find these special dishes at his restaurant Kismayo Kitchen, the only source of Somali cuisine in Vermont. For Omar, it's been a long journey to Kismayo Kitchen. He was born in Kismayo, Somalia, where he and his family were forced to flee due to the Civil War.
I left there when I was young, when I was a little kid, because of the Civil War. And, we got, when the war happened, one of our family get killed, and we decided, to get out of there. It was bad. People are coming to your, when the Civil War happened, people are coming to your house because there was no job, there was no income, everybody, and, people are breaking houses, stealing your money, killing you, raping a woman, and it was bad.
Omar and his family fled to Kenya as refugees, then came to the United States in 2004 when he was 16. Along with some of his family members, Omar was placed in Vermont and graduated from Burlington High School in 2006.
When I came here, my first job was McDonald's. I'm like, wow, these people love food. These people enjoying it. And that what makes me come. My mom is a chef, so I got most of the ideas, most of this. So I was like, Mom, you gotta show me this. I can cook for you tomorrow. And I start falling in love with it. I feel when I came here, I was like, okay, this city needs me. This city needs my recipe. The secret ingredient is always love. You gotta have that love. Like I like to come to my customer, talk to them, ask how's their day is. I'm not gonna put my sandwich and put it there and get my money like I don't know you. No, we don't do that. Like I cook for you a nice meal. I talk to you, how you feeling? I grab you a glass of water. You tired,
Omar says that finding success was no easy feat, but his background prepared him for the hardships of being a business owner.
Life is tough, bro. You gotta learn how to survive. You gotta learn how to adapt it. I know my father, if he was here today, I wish he was here, but never happened. But what I'm gonna do is sit down and cry? No. You gotta find how to hunt. You gotta find a way. There's always exit, but you gotta work hard for it. Nothing comes easy. When you open a restaurant, it's not easy. That's one of the hardest jobs in the world. And when you open the business, you cannot start paying people right away because you don't know if you're gonna make money.
Very good.
I'm blessed. I know there's a lot of toughness, but it was upside and down. But I'm very blessed that I have amazing community get my back.
It isn't just his food that brings his customers back. His attitude and dedication to serving a good meal leaves diners feeling like a part of Omar's family.
It's not fatty, not greasy. You can eat this and a couple hours later you might need another one. I like to taste it to make it fresh. Before we make the ingredients, we want to make sure that is this amazing? Yes, then I'll put in the menu.
In the quiet town of St. George, Vermont, Miriam countermanages all operations of her home-based business, Matryoshka's Bakery. Miriam's specialty is French macarons, not to be confused with macaroons. The main ingredient in macarons is almond flour, which gives the pastry its fluffy, smooth texture.
Pretty much ready, and we have water. We're making Italian meringue.
From Russia, Miriam was 21 when she first came to Vermont through an international work program. One reason she came, to brush up on her English.
My dad always kind of pushed me with English, that I need to learn, better. And I want to kind of improve my language here. It was a great opportunity for us to exercise our language, to work, to make money, and to meet friends, and to learn about the culture too. My goal was to be able, when the first year I came, it was am I going to be able to think in English, dream in English? And after all these years, I think definitely having friends, and television and husband and all that helped.
With all her family back in Russia, Miriam made the tough decision to stay in the States.
It was my second year, and I met my husband. We thought that I'll try to, extend my visa and to see if I can travel or go to school here. It didn't happen because we got married. So, but, I'm happy with the decision definitely that I made.
Miriam's adjustment was gradual. Living in the States since 2005, she's adapted to American culture, but Miriam seldom gets to visit her family in Russia. She misses certain family traditions, so she keeps some of them alive at home.
We have in the back there samovar that on the table. It's a Russian, a teapot, and I've always wanted to have it in our home because it was something that my grandpa had. My grandpa would be always sitting at the head of the table, and anyone who walked in, he wouldn't let them go because he would start pouring tea for them. So that was his thing. I think that's one of the things I miss.
It was no easy feat deciding to start a baking business. Miriam had other things to fall back on, including a degree in early childhood education. But as a mother of 3, she wanted flexibility and independence. So she became an entrepreneur and named her business after the dolls Russia's famous for.
That's when I decided that it's going to be Matryoshka's Bakery. It didn't take too long to decide the name because I'm a mother with 3 kids and it represents my country, and I loved Matryoshkas. With macarons, it's my creation. We just think of something, we'll think of, I have an idea, and we just go with the idea, where I don't have to follow precise orders.
Over time, she expanded, catering macarons for other businesses in the area, including Brio Coffee Works, Lunig's Bistro, and Shelburne Vineyard. Customers can buy her macarons at places like Good Times Cafe or on her website. Miriam has more plans for the future and hopes to open a new space with a bigger kitchen. But for now, she's continuing her experiments with new macaron flavors and is working on combining the qualities of Vermont into her delicacies.
Мне очень нравится готовить макаронс. Это мой маленький бизнес, и я очень горжусь.
On a busy street in Winooski lies Golden Scissors, a hair salon owned and fully operated by Melissa Din.
Nice to meet you again. I've been here
Welcome to
before.
Golden Scissors. Have a seat on my chair. So, haircut.
Yep.
Here, Melissa is giving a classic clipper cut to a regular customer. Originally from Vietnam, Melissa went through years of hardship before coming to the U.S. She was born during a time of political conflict and faced a heavy amount of racism.
Because when I grow up in Vietnam, in my generation, it was, after the war, so the country was messed up. My dad is full African American, my mom Vietnamese. So we got two big issues at that time in Vietnam. First, we from South, and the North win the battle at the Civil War. Second is my dad is African American. Any American doesn't have to be African American. White or black, it's the same. Long that you are American baby, you get harassed.
Melissa says at the time, Vietnam was not welcoming to biracial citizens, and ultimately, her family decided it was time to go. After leaving Vietnam, Melissa and her family were sent to a refugee camp in the Philippines for 6 months. There, they were subjected to labor-intensive jobs such as cleaning the streets.
And grow up in the small town, and so, low educated, so I don't know much about the world. I don't know what American is. I don't know any country beside, the town that I grew up.
But she would move to another town, Winooski, Vermont. With help from a refugee organization, Melissa and her family arrived in 1992. She was just 19. Although grateful to be in a new country, Vermont was not her first choice.
From day one, I never wanted to be in Vermont because of the cold and the darkness in the winter time. Where I grew up, it's sun all year long, sun and hot. Tomorrow, Thursday, what time are you talking about?
Once settled, to keep receiving aid from the refugee program, Melissa had to find a job within 6 weeks. Not only did she do that, she also graduated high school and got her cosmetology license.
While I'm in the school, the Access Tech come up and introduce their program. And I like, oh, that's what I want, I want to be hairdresser.
How old is she now?
13, she just turned 13.
Oh, 13, huh?
Melissa's training was going well, but her health was going in the opposite direction.
The last 10 years, I come down with leukemia, stage 4 leukemia, so I don't think I can make it. So I pray, I believe in God, and I pray. And if His will let me live, and if God love me and let me survive, because at that time, my daughter only 3 years old too. I don't want my daughter to grow up without a mom and get harassed and abused like I've been through. If He let me survive, I want to have my own business.
And Melissa achieved just that. She opened Golden Scissors in 2017 and has thoroughly enjoyed being her own boss.
I work very hard. I try my best. And I work hard, so I get a lot of trophy. And one of my trophy is the Golden Scissor. So I like that name. So I like, okay. So I named Golden Scissor.
Her transition to America wasn't easy, but Melissa persevered and made a life in Vermont. She's excited at the prospect of expanding her space.
I cannot predict the future. I cannot. I don't know what's going on tomorrow. Just enjoy it, this moment right now.
On the corner of East Allen Street and Abenaki Way in Winooski sits Morning Light Bakery. Egg tarts, taro bubble tea, and strawberry mochi are just some of the items you'll find on their menu. Inside the bakery, Ken Liu and his family are working hard, mixing drinks and baking their signature pastries.
My name is Ken, and I am currently working at my parents' bakery just to help my parents out to make sure their business is successful.
Originally from Hong Kong, Ken and his family moved to the US when he was just 13.
The biggest reason for the immigration to the United States was that my parents believed a lot more opportunities for our family here in the United States. There are definitely a lot of opportunities, I would say. One thing I like the most about Vermont is that I would say people are more connected to each other than it is out of state in the big cities area.
Thank you very much.
Customer interaction is definitely one of my most interested thing in my job at the bakery. I don't really consider my work at the bakery. It's more something that I enjoy a lot. Biggest transition from Hong Kong to Vermont would be the language, because my home language, I speak in Cantonese. I was not sure that immigration really means like changing your entire life by moving to somewhere else that is totally different than where you were born.
In 2019, Ken's family opened Morning Light. Although they didn't have experience running a bakery, they were inspired to open one like the ones they loved in Hong Kong.
Before they know that they're immigrating here to the United States, my parents took some classes in baking, and they learned how to bake Asian-style cakes, which are usually less sweeter side. They're more usually made with whipped cream rather than heavy buttercreams. Our type of baking is not as common here in the area, so we want to bring in something different and something more diverse here. My parents weren't 100% English speaker. They did not have a lot of English background when they were in Hong Kong, and they came here having to learn some conversational English. I would usually be the person that deals with the communication, and this is in order to make sure customers are understanding things well.
When he's not working at the bakery, Ken is finishing college as a computer science major at the University of Vermont.
So far, I do not have any plans on what's after college. I would say that I am very interested into working locally. It can be working with my parents at the bakery, which I am totally fine with, and I enjoy working here because I get more chances to know more people and to see customers day to day.
Despite a hectic balance between work, school, and personal time, Ken maintains a positive outlook.
I'm pretty proud of myself and my parents as well. I know my parents are a pair of really hard workers. I would say they made 100 points on being good parents.
And he's glad they brought him to Vermont. But his path forward is uncertain. He does not know if he will continue to work with his family and help be their interpreter, or if he will use his college education to plot out another direction.
A regular coconut bubble tea and a curry chicken bun and a vegetable steamed bun. Total will be $10.48 today. Thank you very much.
Vermont is not like that. It's like people will like, hey, even if they don't know you, hey, how you doing? You know, it's like people respect each other. And my goal is to open a couple restaurants in everywhere. My dream is, I have a big dream, I have a vision, and I'm sure, I'm confident, I believe my dreams, and the dreams always come true.
My dream is to be able to go to a bigger production where I have a bigger team and we can, where we'll be able to ship maybe, My dream is to get bigger, to let other states to know about Matryoshka's Bakery and the macarons.
For the last 10 years, the leukemia kind of changed my perspective. The weather, the people, it doesn't bother me anymore. Long that I live, long that I get up and not in the hospital bed, I'm happy.
I enjoy doing what I'm doing at the bakery, like getting to know customers, and they usually show support, and that's something that I would probably not see if they're only treating us as that like customer business relationship.